you why I still don't have phone service. Yeah, a record show? You're not using your phone enough. Well, I used to use my phone all the time, yet, according to records, between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. you're not on phone. Yeah, well, I can't be on the phone and I'm working between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. If you're not using your phone enough, madam, we cut you off. That's absolutely outrageous. You can't punish me for not talking on the phone. Madam, we have ways of making you talk.
It's so amazing to look around this room and just see so many familiar faces and at the same time so many new faces that we don't know, and it's such a privilege to see all of you here.
Where I grew up in Queens, New York, NCSY was practically unheard of, and it's a shame. Because had I known as a teen what NCSY has to offer, I would have grabbed every moment of it, because it has changed my life now as an adult, as a married man, and the work that we do here is, honestly, I believe we're working right under God's right arm.
He's a member of the Executive Board of the Orthodox Union, as well as the founding chairman of its Young Leadership Cabinet. He is also a member of the Conference of Young Jewish Presidents. But probably most importantly, he's a very good friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Herrera.
With a woman that's about my age and a man who's, good 5-6 years older than me, stiff as a board. I'm sitting in lunch the whole time, didn't say one word. We're in the main course, so to me, the first time he says anything to me, he looks at me and goes, "So, I see you're a Jew." I'm going, okay, this could go one of two ways. I'm like, I happen to be part of the Jewish faith, yes. He goes, "It's an honor to meet you." I'm like, I don't know what's happening, I like it. I go, "Thank you." He goes, before I became a lawyer, I was a U.S. Marine. And us Marines respect nobody, except for the Israeli commandos. I'm like, thanks, I'm a commando. So I go, "Why do you respect Israeli commandos so much? You're a U.S. Marine." He says something that was so insightful. He says, this was 2000. Remember there was a time before 9/11? Remember that we actually had a country where you were able to go on an airplane without taking off your clothes? Remember that? It was like an amazing time where you can fly within 3 hours. And 2000, a lot of the students, they went to the army, the GI Bill. So he said he was a U.S. Marine, he loves this country. And he goes, "I was a U.S. Marine, I was very proud to be an American." He goes, "But what I was struggling with sometimes is, what was I fighting for? I was fighting for freedom, I believed it. I didn't know who I was. Was I a peacekeeper? We didn't fight wars anymore, we were in a time of peace. We were in a time where freedom reigned. And when they sent me out, I almost felt like I didn't fully get me. Who was I? What was my role?" Because then we did a joint exercise with the Israeli army. And I watched them. And I watched what they were fighting for. They were fighting for their mother's apartment. They were fighting for their friend's field. They were fighting for their survival. They were fighting for the borders, for their own country. They knew who they were. They were the people that came out of the ashes of the Holocaust. They were the people that stood at Masada and said, "We're never going to fall again. We're going to keep a homeland for the first time." And I looked at them and I said, we know who you are. And you know what you're fighting for? You can do anything. And there's no one that I respect more than those commandos. For us to become great, as individuals and as a community, we have to ask ourselves, who are we? And what are we fighting for?
When I realized that this is New England's 50th anniversary, I began to do my research. I contacted alumni, the official NCSY historians, and I soon realized that there's no way that I can actually capture 50 years of an organization. I also realized that these were not my 50 years. These 50 years belong to the thousands of young people, advisors, rabbis, and regional directors who make up the soul of New England NCSY. And it's just not possible to capture the totality of each person's experience. But what we did try to do is get a snapshot. I was able to meet the first regional director of this region, Mr. Joel Paul, lives in New York, the founding regional director of New England from 1962 to 1964. What a humbling experience it was to hear what he did to launch 20 chapters up and down New England without fax machines, cell phones, or computers. I was able to hear the stories and moments of NCSY alumni who attribute their Jewish lives and the fact that they now have Jewish children and are Jewish grandparents to Jewish grandchildren in NCSY. I spoke to Pinchas Stolper, the founder of NCSY, and explained to him that he has a perpetual merit, a perpetual scar in the lives of Jewish teenagers. Because for a half a century, tens of thousands of young people have been inspired by his dream. At this time, I'd like to share with you a live snapshot. 6 individuals whose speeches I did not write or edit, who I'm hearing for the first time, who want to share their NCSY journey. Ladies and gentlemen, our NCSYers.
My journey through high school in Judaism hasn't been so smooth. Public school, even when it is 65% Jewish, provides minimal exposure to spiritual Jews who love their religion. The challenge to be a committed Jew and still be seen as a normal teenager is a difficult one. Being in NCSY has helped to solidify my connection to Judaism. Every time I go on a Shabbaton, I'm so happy to reconnect with everyone, and I'm truly inspired by those around me.
When I got to the event, I was overwhelmed. There were so many other Jewish teenagers from around New England that I had never met before. I could tell something unique was about to begin. One memory that stands out from that Shabbaton was during pre-Shabbos Ruach. As the many awkward freshmen stood by the side of the room, not knowing exactly how things worked yet, 2 older girls who were on regional board went into the center of the room and began to dance. These 2 girls went to 2 different schools, lived in separate states, and led very different lives. But here they came together as a part of this NCSY family that I knew I was about to enjoy.
NCSY has given me the opportunity to grow my community and circle of friends. Today, I not only have many friends from around New England, but because I attended an NCSY summer program, I have friends from all over the country. With Facebook, it's easy to keep in touch with these people, and I know I'll be encountering them at different stages of my life. In the meantime, some of these kids live in communities with no Jewish life, and it makes me happy to know that I'm part of their Jewish community. NCSY has brought me to the realization that the Orthodox world is a large one, spanning cities throughout the planet. At the same time, it is a small world of shared beliefs and timeless values.
There is such a sense of community that I found at NCSY. I have never met a more welcoming group of people. I truly feel like I can be myself and not be judged for my level of belief and observance. I also love how everyone from 9th to 12th grade is treated equally and gets along so well. Coming as a 10th grader, I never felt any difference between the ages. I was amazed at how close everyone could become in a matter of days. People I met on my first event, I am still extremely close with. It is such a warm feeling seeing everyone greet and then say goodbye to one another on events. You can tell how much people truly care about each other.
At the time, that was my perspective on NCSY. It was simply good for me, religiously and socially. Then I went on Jolt. It changed my life. As part of a Jewish overseas leadership training experience, 36 of us traveled to Poland, Austria, and Israel to learn and experience our people's past, present, and future. We came to understand the importance of becoming future leaders in our communities. Thinking back on my experiences now, I'm still moved by the memory of being taken to a graveyard in Poland to learn about how Jewish life once thrived there. Walking through a beautiful forest, only to learn that the steps I had just taken were the last steps my ancestors in Poland took before the Nazis murdered them. And how the only comfort I could find was walking arm in arm with my fellow Jolters, singing as we left the mass graves.
If I wait too long between NCSY experiences, it can be easy to be swallowed up by a world lacking anything spiritual. In fact, if it hadn't been for my older sister, I never would have understood what it meant to be missing a spiritual element in my life. She dragged me on my first spring regional when I was in 8th grade, and it was one of the best weekends of my life. Since then, the true enthusiasm for Judaism on each Shabbaton has brought me back time after time.
Many people at school are Jewish, but almost none of them have any knowledge about Judaism or even care about it. Then someone told me about the Jewish Student Union, a weekly club for Jewish kids. For some reason, I conjured up an image of sitting alone in the classroom with an advisor who didn't want to be there. Not cool. When I went to the first meeting, I was so pleasantly surprised. Not only were a group of kids sitting, learning, and laughing, the group was led by John and Leah Savage, 2 of the most caring, passionate, and awesome people I've ever met. I had never seen anybody take such a personal interest in the kids that they are teaching the way the Savages do. Needless to say, I'm at the JSU Club every Monday after school. I am not alone, and the advisors want to be there. Very cool. Being able to really love my Judaism and learning has also affected my future. I am excited to take a gap year to Israel next year, and strongly am considering attending a yeshiva. I am so grateful for this organization that brings Jewish life right into our schools and offers opportunities for Jewish growth beyond the classroom.
Jeremy, you had mentioned that you would like to go spend a year in Israel in yeshiva. And that's not an easy thing to do. And I know that you're already making plans to see how you can make that dream into reality. Every year at Spring Regional in May, we have an awards banquet where we give out scholarships to outstanding teenagers who have grown through the organization. And although that most of them will be getting their awards in May, I thought I'd kickstart your journey to Israel on behalf of New England NCSY with $1,000 to get you started to go to yeshiva.
Shalom, shalom.
Thank you very much.